Bonjour, chers apprenants. Another lesson, another class. Bonjour and bienvenue. Good morning and welcome once again. Ça va bien? I'm sure it is a big très bien from you. Very well. N'est-ce pas? That's, isn't it? Well, here we are now getting on with new lessons and more new expressions in our course. We learned ways to start a conversation, to greet each other and exchange information on each other, how to ask one's names and how to tell one's own to the other. We learned also expressions and saying, how do you do, as well as how to distinguish between names and surnames. From now on, you can even talk about the weather in French. Isn't that fantastic? We learned the personal pronouns in French and completed counting numbers till 50. You know now the background of India's French connection, the little quarters that retain bits of the French legacy that existed there once upon a time, and lots on the world-famous Auroville that graces the French quarters, sharing space in Puducherry and Tamil Nadu. So with that, we start another lecture today, part 1, words, terms, and expressions. We have a little change in the format, a slight change, an interesting change, where you are going to see a slight difference in the way we present information to you. This time we shall learn some new words and expressions as they are used during actual conversations. On y va? Faites attention, that's pay attention. It is going to be a brief set of dialogues between Pierre and Sabine. As I told you, Pierre can be the name of a boy, and Sabine is a very common name for girls in France. And another pair, that's Sylvie and Alain. This is what we call the dialogic process. After all, we are learning how to communicate, so why not proceed through a dialogue? Conversation 1, Pierre, he says bonjour. Sabine replies bonjour. Pierre, je m'appelle Pierre, Pierre Dupont. Et vous? Sabine replies, moi, je suis Sabine, Sabine Morel. Pierre, je viens de Lyon. Et vous? Je viens de Lyon means I come from Lyon. And what about you? Sabine replies, c'est une belle ville. Je travaille à la poste. Et vous? À la poste, je travaille à la poste. That is, I work at the post office. And what about you? Pierre, super. Je suis journaliste. Vous venez d'où? Journaliste, vous comprenez? Journaliste. Liste, that's journalist. Vous venez d'où? Where do you come from? Sabine replies, j'habite à Lille, au nord. I live in Lille, in the north. I repeat once more. Bonjour. Sabine says, bonjour. Pierre, je m'appelle Pierre, Pierre Dupont. Et vous? Sabine says, moi, je suis Sabine, Sabine Morel. Pierre says, je viens de Lyon. Et vous? Sabine, Lyon, c'est une belle ville. It's a beautiful city. Je travaille à la poste. Et vous? Super, je suis journaliste. Vous venez d'où? Sabine replies, j'habite à Lille, au nord. I live in Lille, in the north. So this was a casual exchange of dialogues between two people, Pierre and Sabine. Very simple sentences, very simple formations. You can go through it again and again and see if you can make a similar conversation with your friend. Conversation 2. This is entre deux personnes, between two people. C'est Alain et Sylvie. Alain, he says, quel beau temps. Remember we did temps, the weather? He remarks, quel beau temps. Sylvie replies, oui, il fait beau. Please remember your weather, the lessons on weather that we did. Oui, il fait beau. Alain, je viens de Nice. Là, il fait du soleil. Et vous, d'où venez-vous? Sylvie replies, j'habite à Montréal, au Canada. J'habite à Montréal, au Canada. Alain, que faites-vous ici à Genève? What are you doing here in Geneva? Sylvie replies, j'adore la Suisse. La Suisse, remember, that's French word for Switzerland. J'adore la Suisse. Je suis en vacances avec mes amis. I'm vacationing here with my friends. Et vous? And what about you? Alain replies, je suis banquier. Any guesses? Well, yes, he works at the bank and he says, je suis banquier. Je suis en voyage d'affaires. Voyage d'affaires, affaires, en français means business. So he's on a business trip at Geneva and he's a banker. And don't we all know Switzerland is well known for its banks? So this is again a second set of dialogues between Alain and Sylvie, two people who exchange some information about each other and the weather. You've done this earlier. You can please go through the dialogues and see if you can have a similar conversation with your friend or your colleague. Chers apprenants, how did you like the conversation? There are new words and terms for you, but I'm sure you'll be able to guess the meanings well. I've said this earlier, I'm repeating this. In language learning, guessing is a big tool. Remember and try using it to make similar phrases by yourself. And I wish you good luck for that. Bonne chance, as I said last time, it means good luck. We're going to take up something very important in French. Remember when we were doing the alphabets, I had told you that the same set of 26 letters exists for the French language as well. However, there are small little differences, small accents and signs which distinguish it from pure English alphabets. Those are the little signs and accents we are going to deal now. Allons voir les accents. Let's go and see them. Accent aigu, generally placed on the letter E. Accent grave, placed on the letters E, I, U, A, E, U. The two dots, they are called trémas. We find them on the letters E, I, or U. There is an inverted V sign that's named circumflex. Circumflex, that's placed on A, E, I, O, U. Sudil, I have mentioned this several times, that little sign that occurs under the letter C that makes it have the sound of S and not K. Apostrophe, that we all know as the apostrophe sign in between two words, one ending and the other beginning in a vowel. So you have an apostrophe put there. You have a link given in your slides. I request you to go to the site via the URL given, and you shall find links to pronunciation and usage of the accents. Next is les jours de la semaine. You can guess well, semaine means week. That's days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here we go. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. Repeat after me. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, and dimanche. Please find another URL right at the bottom of your slides. This takes you to another site where you have native French speakers speaking and telling you the days of the week. You can see exactly how they are pronounced.
Bonjour Audrey.
Bonjour.
Alors Audrey, quels sont les jours de la semaine? Lundi,
Lundi,
mardi,
mardi,
mercredi,
mercredi,
jeudi,
jeudi,
vendredi,
vendredi,
samedi
samedi
et dimanche.
et dimanche.
Merci Audrey.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
After this, I take up indefinite articles. I'm sure you do remember what are definite articles. We did le, la, les, and l apostrophe, the four forms of the word the in English that were definite articles in French. Today, we're going to take up indefinite articles. And what are indefinite articles? In English, they are represented by a and an. A girl, an apple. You have equivalents given here. Un stylo, a pen. This is the masculine singular form. I told you stylo is masculine. Un stylo, a pen. The feminine is pronounced as une. Une fille, a girl. Des tables. This third option is absent in the English language. In English, if you have a singular object, you say a table, a chair, a boy, a student, a girl, a building, a house. These are all singular nouns. But if you were to use indefinite articles, in case when you're talking about plurals, you don't have any. You just say houses, plates, chairs, students. There isn't a plural indefinite article in English, which is why in French, for this des, that's pronounced as they, there is no equivalent in English. And you have to learn that in French, when you're using the indefinite article, for plural objects, you will say des tables, des filles, des maisons, whatever. If the situation is, the context is that of using indefinite articles, you just use they. If you were to translate something like boys, in French it would become des garçons. And if you were to translate des garçons towards English, it would just be boys. So these three are the indefinite articles in French. Please take note. Un, une, masculine singular, feminine singular, and they, that is the masculine, feminine, plural. Here we come to part 3, that's the culture et civilisation. And let's see what we have here. A topic that most students are very fond of, monuments in France especially. We've all heard of important places to visit and see in France, famous monuments, museums. In this section on culture and civilization, we shall take a look at some of such places. There are numerous spread across the length and breadth of the country. I'm not at all limiting myself to Paris. France itself is full of monuments across the country. But today we are going to take just 4 out of them and just briefly introduce you to these. La Tour Eiffel. This is pronounced as Eiffel. You normally say Eiffel Tower in English. En français, c'est La Tour Eiffel. You have some details here. It was built from 1887 to 1889 by the French engineer Gustave Eiffel, specializing in building metal frameworks and structures. The Eiffel Tower was built to be one of the main attractions at the Paris World's Fair in 1889. First called the 300-meter tower, it soon took the name of the man who built it, Gustave Eiffel. The tower opened to the public the same day as the World's Fair on May 15, 1889. So you have La Tour Eiffel, which has now become almost synonymous with the French, with Paris's identity, France's identity. So there you've learned a bit about La Tour Eiffel. Next is Musée du Louvre. Have you heard of the Louvre Museum? The Louvre, or the Louvre Museum, is the world's largest art museum and a historic monument located in Paris. It is best known for housing the famous painting Mona Lisa. We have learnt about the Seine River passing through the city of Paris, and the Louvre is located on the right bank of the Seine in the city's premier arrondissement. Arrondissement is quite like the zones in different cities. In French, these zones are called arrondissements. Here you take a look at the Louvre Museum, then go on to somewhere outside Paris, onto mountains in the lap of nature in the Alps, the French Alps, housing one of the world's most famous mountain peaks, Mont Blanc. Mont Blanc, have you heard of it? You might have heard it as a brand where you have luxury items like pens and wallets. Mont Blanc, that's the name also of a luxury brand, but it's actually named after the mountain, Mont Blanc, which is a part of the French Alps. It's the second highest peak in the world in the Alps, the first highest being the Jungfrau in Switzerland, and Mont Blanc is the second highest peak. The Alps on the eastern as well as southeastern borders of the country is part of the second highest mountain ranges of the world. It is also the highest peak in the French Alps, Mont Blanc meaning the white mountain. It is the second highest and second most prominent mountain in Europe. Le Pont d'Avignon. Avignon is a small little town in the southeast of France, very well known for its theatre workshops, theatre activities, festivals of theatre. So Avignon is a town linked to this, and there's a bridge, a famous bridge. So Le Pont d'Avignon is named after a bridge whose actual name is Saint-Bénézet. It is located in Avignon, as I said, a small town in South France, more known for its cultural and theatre festivals. This was built in between 1178 and 1185, and a part of this bridge is known to have collapsed in the 13th century. Here is a picture you can see. Le Pont d'Avignon. Pont means bridge, bridge of Avignon. Here is a little song you have on Pont d'Avignon. If you look at your e-content provided, you have a mention of this as well. We have tried to actually let you listen to this song. Given on this link, you can go and listen to this song, a very famous nursery rhyme. The children love to sing it. So you can as well try singing it along with the lyrics that you see there. Le Pont d'Avignon. chanson. Chanson means song in French. So this is the very famous children's song built around Le Pont d'Avignon. It's about the bridge. So listen to the song and try following it up.
Sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse tous en rond.
Les beaux monsieur font comme ça, et puis encore comme ça.
Sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse tous en rond. Les belles dames font comme ça, et puis encore comme ça. Sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse tous en rond.
In the last section today, your surprise section, we have something very interesting coming for you. There must be several students out here who have watched or read Da Vinci Code based on Dan Brown's gripping novel, Da Vinci Code. If you remember, the story was hugely based on the Louvre Museum. Several of its galleries, paintings, they featured in the story. And the movie, a part of the film, was also shot inside the Louvre Museum. In fact, after the film became a big hit, the museum offered a walking tour of the Louvre, the Denon wing, and the Mona Lisa, and the famed glass pyramid you might have seen on screen. This is the glass pyramid, learners. Take a look. This is the glass pyramid. A very important part of the film was shot at this point. There was a very well-known walk for tourists organized within the Louvre Museum, following the route taken in the Da Vinci Code movie, and that was really loved by tourists from across the world. So Le Louvre, although it's located in Paris, in France, it has an international appeal. You have so many visitors come here every day and appreciate the sculpture, the paintings here, and of course the glass pyramid in front of the Louvre Museum is a very modern piece of architecture, well appreciated, and of course several films, not only Da Vinci Code, you would have seen several films have been shot here, and it is very beautiful at night. The lighting is excellent. So this was about your special section, and we touched upon some important monuments in France. There are so many more, but we just touched upon some very important ones. There still remain many. So till we meet again in our next lecture, here is a bye-bye from us. Au revoir, à très bientôt. Merci de votre attention. Take care.